So welcome everyone to the 2023 Alpha Art NBAS Oil and Mixed Media Salon titled Close to Home. My name is Jess Guziak, and today I'm with Abby Sobotka-Briner, a multimedia artist based in Philly. Thank you for being with me today, Abby.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So just to start off, I'm wondering if you could just tell me generally about the works you've submitted, if they have any theme, if you have like some kind of like reason for grouping them together, anything like that.
Yeah, thanks for asking. So the paintings that I submitted for this exhibition are kind of just all my favorites right now. They are all completed within the last 3 years or so, and they're really just, yeah, what I'm most proud of at the moment. I think to me, they represent love and friendship and this journey of growth and kind of coming to believe in myself as an artist and kind of have also documented this process of me owning my identity and my queerness and moving to a new city and all these things. So, um, yeah, I feel like all the paintings themselves have also been through a transformation and they look good together. So that's why that's why I picked
Yeah.
them. And yeah, I think they're it's hard to know if a painting is ever really finished, but the ones that I've picked feel finished and feel yeah, complete.
Yeah. How long have you been in Philly for?
Only about a year and a half.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I'm still pretty new, but I think I was able to like use art to kind of find a group of people that were like-minded and connect with folks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess kind of going off of that, I know about your art collective, of course, because I was there with you guys that one time. But can you tell me about the community that you surround yourself with? Maybe more for just like people watching the interview. Explain that a little bit for them.
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, first of all, I wouldn't be here if not for the community that I've surrounded myself with. Like, yeah, just like reaching out to me really honestly was so validating for me as an artist because you used my contact form on my website.
Yeah.
I honestly was like, is this a scam? And then I messaged you on Instagram. And so really it was honestly this community kind of building is where art opportunities come from, where inspiration comes from. And like I said, I do think that so much of art and being inspired and motivated is about community. Um, yeah, I mentioned that I just moved to Philly about a year and a half ago, and people always asked me after moving, like, how are you making friends? It's so hard as an adult.
Yeah.
And really, I was so glad that I had art and music to fall back on and meet people through because it was really a great way to make friends and meet people. I just surrounded myself with the people that inspired me and whose work I loved and who motivated me to push my boundaries and things. And it really has been so fruitful. Yeah, I feel like this year has really helped me. I've achieved so many of my art related goals and I've made some work I'm really proud of. And I think big picture, it's helped me connect with my family better.
Oh,
I think you met my younger sister also at the art market where we were vending. And my parents, they kind of have like a visual of kind of what creative things I'm doing, and it helps them connect with me as well. My grandparents were artists, and so it feels like I'm continuing a tradition. Yeah, so it's like a full story thing, and I think I think just my art wouldn't exist without the people around me and the people that inspire me near and far.
yeah. Your grandparents are artists. Did you ever do any art with them, like growing up when you were younger or anything like that?
No, not so much together. My my nana taught me how to knit.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Classic.
think yeah, and that is true too. I don't get bored easily because I can always change mediums and things.
Mhm.
Um, so I think I saw them doing art and it kind of made me want to follow in that path. I kind of thought that everyone wanted to be an artist when they grew up, and we just all got sidetracked by like other real jobs. And then I realized that other people have other goals. Um,
Yeah. That's like so funny. That's like an awesome thought. I kind of felt the same way where it's like, wait, some people actually want to have a real job. I thought we all just wanted to like make music or be an artist or something.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but when I was in college, I kind of took the leap and switched majors to studio art.
Mhm.
And my grandparents were like my biggest champions in, you know, letting me know that was a real career path and that my work was valid. And now I paint and do make work on my grandmother's old drawing table that she passed down to
Oh,
me. She passed away during COVID, and so
oh.
that's really special. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Like um, the work we do is very different, but it's really nice to feel like yeah, I'm kind of part of that process.
Yeah, that's an awesome connection to have. It's really something special to have family
Yeah.
members who see you through in that, especially like going to college and pursuing that as a degree. That's definitely something special. And remind me, you went to Pitt for undergrad, and then was it South Carolina or was it in California that you were in?
Yeah, it was University of Southern California,
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
similar letters. So
Yeah, yeah. I was like, was it South Carolina or Southern California? Yeah. And you have a master's in, was it urban planning?
yeah, yeah. So my undergrad was architecture and studio arts. And so I've always kind of had this more design focus. And then I took some time in between graduating and going back to school and did some construction and I lived
Mhm.
abroad for a while doing some design and then came back and I was living in Los Angeles and I was like really close to the affordable housing crisis because I was
Mhm.
working for Habitat for Humanity. And that was sort of what prompted me to go back to school for urban planning. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. What kind of work did you do abroad?
I was working for a design and curation firm in New Delhi,
Oh,
and they were
cool.
on kind of these conservation and curatorial projects across the country. And so we did a lot of really cool work, exhibitions and a film festival,
Cool.
and a redesign of a government museum. And it was a really life-changing experience. I got
Yeah.
to I think, do a lot more than I would have at the same entry point in America. And I kind of got to see a totally different approach to what we would take in the States a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely really changed my perspective. And I hadn't really lived outside of Pennsylvania before that.
Mhm.
So obviously that's a huge change.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you take a lot of themes of like conservation and like community and helping community into your work, right? Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime we have a platform, um, not to be like high and mighty, but I think it's important to think about the message that we're putting out.
Yeah.
Um, as a planner, I think like nothing should be done really without, and this is my personal opinion,
Mm-hmm.
without the folks that it's going to impact the most.
Yeah, of
You
course.
plan with me, not for me, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As a painter, I think it's a little bit different in like how I take in the information and then how it comes back out. Um, yeah, I think that like art is really repetitive in that we're all taking in the same world around us and then interpreting it and expressing it in this different way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And so I think that's kind of the difference of how community plays in these different areas of my life. But I love when I can make work kind of for the people
Yeah.
too. Like things that relate to folks across, I don't know, age range or
Mhm.
whatever. It's fun, like, to have excitement from a variety of people.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Art is definitely more no matter kind of like no matter who you're making it for, like what the purpose of it is, it's still kind of personal. Like there's always like a very personal element of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And isn't that why it's so special when someone
Yeah.
like connects with our work is because you're kind of putting a piece of you out there, and then when someone really sees that,
Hmm.
really meaningful.
Yeah. It's like, oh, there are people that are kind of just like me in like similar but different ways. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, to pivot a little bit, a question that I kind of like to ask people because I think it sparks some interesting conversation is what are some challenges that you have faced with art or with like your journey to being an artist or anything like that?
Yeah, I think this is a funny question.
Yeah.
Um, because I think like when I was first starting out, it felt like I almost needed to tap into like what I had, the struggles I had gone
Mhm.
through in order to make art that was valid. And I think I saw the people around me um healing and on a journey before I was on the journey myself of really knowing why I was making work or for what. And I think like that kind of held me back in some ways,
Mhm.
like there's this connection between art and like pain and all these things. And
Yeah.
I think um, it's just as beautiful to celebrate like the joy and abundance through art and portray that because we all have experienced the pain, but it's way harder to imagine a world without that, you know?
Mhm.
So I think that is where I try to go with my work. But, obviously there have been challenges. And I think when it comes to art, like the biggest one, whether you're a writer or a sewing or a painter or whatever, is just like self-doubt.
Yeah.
And I think like realizing that and working through it, and kind of, yeah, realizing that all of the contributions that we make and everything that you make, whether it's an experiment or the final product, um, if it's like the best representation of you and it's like
Yeah.
true to what you're going for, I think, that's where the best work comes out.
Yeah.
And I think, when you're going through a tough time, especially as an artist, people will be like, well, you'll make great work from this or
Yeah.
or something. And that is really hard when you're in that place and you're hearing that and you're like, yeah, the last thing I want to do right now is paint.
Let's make something. Yeah. No,
But
I
it kind
totally
of
get it.
is true, right? That's where we find our like time to process and think and meditate on what we're going through or working on. And I think like the work that I put in and that we put in
Mhm.
when we're struggling or down, um, usually is like some of the best representation of us. And I think what I've found is when I really appreciate that I keep going through those times because the work that I have put in when I didn't want to is usually what has like the biggest impact later, and
Mhm.
I'm ultimately the most proud of or most proud of myself for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I totally understand that. Like the thinking of like when like a musician is like they go through like a public breakup and everyone's like, "Oh, the new album's gonna be great." It's like kind of like that, but people think that it's the same way for all kinds of artists. Like you're gonna create like something amazing out of your pain, but maybe you just want to express that in a different way, and then
Mhm.
it shows up a different way in art sometimes. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about it a little bit already, but I think maybe if there was anything like specific we wanted to pinpoint down or anything, what kind of themes do you pursue in your art?
Yeah. I love this question. I think the big thing I always say is that I have been able to use my artwork, yeah, to work through how I want to be perceived or not, the way that I like interpret other people's expectations of me or impressions of what I am or what I want. Um, I think it's been really huge for me exploring my queerness and um, owning my body and body positivity. And I think it's been so helpful healing and growing my confidence and things. And I think I'm really excited about the work that I'm sharing with the gallery because it's kind of a lot of work that I made after my mentor Richard Wilkes, who I think I shared his work with y'all. He is a welder and he learned about the huge plastic problem um, that we are dealing with and started thinking about how he could change his practice to use plastic as his main medium. And I helped him with building a sculpture my first year in Los Angeles. And he was the one who sort of was like, you need to stop calling yourself a hobbyist or a crafter and really own like calling yourself an artist and this journey that you're on as a maker. And so a lot of these paintings have been made since then and since kind of coming into this like definition of what an artist is. I try to break down like that barrier between high and low art that
Yeah.
we like always comes up.
Yeah.
And I try to encourage folks who don't think of them as an artist themselves as an artist to sort of, ask themselves why. Um, yeah, because I think for me a big theme has just been coming into myself and being unafraid of being vulnerable and um yeah, really trusting that my contributions matter and uh give value to other people.
Yeah.
And it's really so nice to be seen and yeah, just have your work appreciated by other folks and be able to tell your story like this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, awesome. All right, that's all my questions I have for today. I really enjoyed talking with you, of course. A lot of things that I resonate with in my life and I agree with, and I feel like I'm learning from you. And yeah, would love to have you as my mentor.
I would love that, Jess.
Yeah, of course. All right.